Hey guys, welcome to the new video. Subscribe and like before starting the original video. Let's start now. Growing up, the gentle hum of the television on a Sunday evening was a comfort, and the main event was often the UK's beloved Antiques Roadshow. It was a ritual, a weekly escape into the annals of history guided by tweed-clad experts. They weren't just appraisers, they were storytellers, carefully unwrapping the secrets of family heirlooms. Whether it was a fragile tea set that had seen generations of use or a military medal with a silent tale of valor, the show felt less like a broadcast and more like an intimate conversation. What truly captivated me wasn't the price tag at the end, but the journey to get there. The show's magic was in its settings, the backdrop of grand estates, ancient castles, or manicured gardens that felt as much a character as the items themselves. These majestic locations, like the historic Blenheim Palace or the imposing Tower of London, lent an air of authenticity and gravitas to every segment. Each episode was a beautiful, tranquil exploration of the past, a quiet celebration of shared heritage. When I first stumbled upon the American version, my expectations were set high. I was anticipating that same blend of history and human interest, that same reverence for the past. But what I found was different. It wasn't just a slight variation. It was a fundamental shift in tone and focus that took me by surprise. From grand estates to convention floors, the most immediate difference was the setting. The tranquil, historic backdrops of the UK show were replaced by vast, bustling convention centres. The serene atmosphere I was used to was gone, replaced by the low roar of a crowd and the impersonal buzz of a large-scale event. It felt less like a quiet discovery and more like a trade show. Instead of feeling like a guest at a stately home, I felt like a spectator at a marketplace. This shift in scenery changed the entire mood. The British version's setting adds to the weight of the stories, connecting the heirlooms to a specific place and time. The American backdrop, while efficient, lacked that same sense of historical grounding. This distinction highlights a deeper contrast in what each show values. The UK show seems to value the context, the where and who behind each item. The American show, by contrast, feels like a more direct, transactional experience. It's a show about what you found, not necessarily about where it came from. The allure of the big reveal. The contrasting styles of the experts themselves also caught my attention. The UK appraisers are like academic scholars, soft-spoken and focused on the intricate details of craftsmanship or the historical significance of an object. The valuation is often a subtle footnote, a whispered number that sometimes you have to lean in to catch. The American show, however, leans into the theatrical. The appraisers are more dramatic, and the entire segment is a carefully orchestrated build-up to one singular moment, the big reveal of the price. The suspense is palpable, with dramatic pauses and a sense of expectation that feels straight out of a game show. There's a tangible energy of "did they find a treasure?" that dominates the narrative. This difference in presentation is key. The British show values the narrative of the item itself. The story is a main event. The American show, on the other hand, frames the story as a prelude to a financial climax. The value isn't a secondary detail, it's the entire point. The ultimate question isn't "what is this?" but "what is this worth?" Historical heirlooms versus pop culture memorabilia. Even the types of items showcased highlight this cultural divide. On the UK version, you're likely to see a Georgian silver set, a Victorian painting, or a family-inherited piece of military history. These are objects deeply rooted in centuries of British and European history. Each item feels like a tiny piece of the past, passed down through generations. In the US, the spotlight often falls on different kinds of objects. You're more likely to see baseball cards, movie posters, collectible toys, or uniquely American folk art. These items are intriguing and valuable in their own right, but they reflect a different historical focus. While the UK show explores centuries of formalized history, the US show often celebrates more recent history and popular culture, the history of American life. The emphasis is on Americana, a term that encompasses everything from a 1920s jazz club poster to a Civil War-era artifact. Different shows, different spirits. Ultimately, both shows are a reflection of their respective countries. The UK's Antiques Roadshow is understated, patient, and filled with a quiet reverence for tradition and heritage. It feels like a pilgrimage to a piece of the past. The American version is energetic, polished, and designed for entertainment and dramatic effect.